get started on this side now. It's a new year, so let's hope 22 turns out better than 21. Alright, I got that side all ground down, and it's a lot better than the other side. As far as I can tell, the inner structure is not too damaged, but we may still cut this whole thing out and just check it, and then weld it back in anyways. But otherwise, it's a lot better than the other side. Alright, so what do we have behind door number 1? Just cut this out. Yeah, looks like a little bit of debris here. Oh my god. I wonder if this thing's rusted out. Holy crap. Oh my god. This is insane. This is, oh jeez. What the heck? Wow. Well, let's get that cleaned out and see what it looks like back up in there. See how rusted out it is. Probably got to replace everything just like I did the other side. Alright, so I used the template from the other side. I'm basically going to make the same piece, which will be this whole section all the way down into here and up to here. So I'll go ahead and cut that out, but my new Christmas present that my brother-in-law got me. Nice set of shears here. I'm going to throw some cutting fluid on them so they don't get too hot. And I'm going to rough cut this, and then I'll come back through and trim it up and sand it, whatever needs to be done. I have to put a bunch of bends in it, so. Well, man, I have not been filming anything. There has been a lot of stuff going on though. So let's get to see so let's see what we've been doing. Working on the Nova and working on this side slowly but surely. Getting that all figured out. Alright, back working on this thing. We'll update, got the rest of the drivetrain, the front end ripped off of it. I actually put it up on my side-by-side lift that I built. It's a little small. Had to use some extension brackets, but in the back's hanging off quite a bit, but it's balancing really nice, and it's got wheels, and I can easily move it around. Just roll it wherever I need to. And it's pretty darn stable, so I'm actually going to lower it down. I did find a roof panel, so it should be here in a couple weeks. We're crossing our fingers. So I'm probably going to go ahead and get started pulling this roof panel off. Some of the inner structure in here definitely needs to be fixed. It's hard to see right now. I need to get a light, but it's all rusted out up there. So yeah, so we're still trucking away on this thing, but got a long ways to go and a lot of parts to get here. So my mom's moving up in about a month, so we're gonna try and throw a bunch of parts from Southern California, because there's a lot of distributors there, in her container and ship them up with her, so we could save ourselves a lot of money. So we'll see what happens, and I'm gonna go ahead and lower this thing down, start working on that roof. Yeah, it was a little sticky first, and came down a little quicker than I expected, but everything's good. So, yep, now we can move it around, do what we need to do. Easy peasy. Get that cut off. Alright, well, before we start wrapping the thing, we're going to need to brace this all up. Alright, we got it all stripped off of there, just rough cut, because it makes it a lot easier to get the spot welds. We're actually losing the drip rails, so if you can see right there is where the drip rail tacks on behind there. So it's kind of a little bit of a chore to get to it, but we'll get it all knocked out. This up here, looking pretty good. That's not bad, a little surface rust, nothing that can't be taken care of. And I see holes down there. This is bad back here. So we knew this was bad. We just didn't know how bad. I thought maybe I could save some of it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to save any of it. I mean, maybe this top lip, but I doubt it. It might be too much work to weld that and not just bend that in. So gonna have to remake this piece. Looks like a fun one. Got a bunch of different curves to it, and they have to be right. So over here, this is fixable. I mean, this is just surface rust, but right down in here we have a hole, and it's a pretty good section. So we might have to replace this side. But we knew it was bad, and yeah. So what are you gonna do, right? Just fix it. Alright, so I made this piece up. Tried to bend it around a little bit, couldn't get it right, so probably gonna have to make it out of 3 pieces. We'll see how it turns out, but I went ahead and I took it out so I could do it on the bench, and should be a lot easier. So I got that all braced, drilled out all the spot welds and pulled that out. These need a little repair. It's good up here, but down here we're gonna have to put a new edge on that, and it ties into this rear flange where the roof goes into it. So really hard to tell because, you know, there's not much left of it. So we'll do our best, and we won't weld anything in final till our roof panel gets here and we fit it, but we'll at least have it ready to go. Alright, I'm going to give you guys an update here. I've been working on this. So I cut out the center strip, and then I had to do it in 2 pieces because my brake isn't big enough to handle 18 gauge that long, and this is over 4 feet anyways. So this is the end that's critical. This is the one that the roof welds to, and also has the back window ledge on it. So pretty critical, and this is the part that's the most messed up, obviously. So this isn't even attached anymore. It's just dangling there, and it's missing about 3 inches at this end. Luckily, this end is all here, so I do know what it's kind of supposed to look like. So we'll do our best to keep recreating this piece. And I didn't weld the ends yet because it's going to need some hammer work down in here probably to get that pocket. I'm just going to wait and do it afterwards, and if I have to fill it in, I have to fill it in. So keep continuing on. Alright, well, we got that piece all welded up and test fitting it. It's going to fit perfect. Well, we think it is. We're going to wait for the roof panel, obviously, and hopefully the roof panel lines up with it and get the back window in and everything lines up. Then we can go ahead and weld it in, but obviously I got to rebuild these, and inner structure needs some work up in here, some patches on both sides before we can do any of that. But we got the big piece done. And basically these have a little tab that came off of them and sandwiched in between here and the roof panel. So just fix these up and get it going. Man, I thought the outside was rusty. Wait till you get it inside. Yep. Doesn't look that difficult. I really got my work cut out for me. Alright, shop's all cleaned up. Looking pretty good. Took that quad I had and turned it into a dirt bike for my kid because he wanted a two-wheeler. So that's almost done. Got a few more things to do. But hey, we got a delivery. Roof panel came in. So I'm gonna get back to work on this thing. It's looking a little roached. So we got it's gonna be pretty difficult to make this inner panel right here. It's gonna probably be the more difficult one. It goes down, it makes some bends down in there, and it ends up all the way down at the fender well. And not much left in there to go by. There is a little bit of shape right here I can see. But so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to cut this part of the fender out. I'm replacing these anyway, so I'm not worried about it. Just so I can access all the way down there and build that inner panel. And then we'll cut this old one out once we get the new one built. We're going to build a template out of probably the RAM board that I've been using. Get it from Lowe's. It's pretty good stuff. Home Depot, I think, has it also. So, get started. Alright, inner fender well looks great, so it's just going to be about that, and got a little bit of rust down here. That shouldn't be too big of a deal. This did have a little piece here that I think is supposed to be attached to this. I'm not positive that comes with the inner fender because I don't know how. I still don't know how you attach that to the inner fender, or to the outer fender, I should say, once it's in here. So, unless you can get a welder in this corner or something, I don't know, to spot weld that. I have to figure that out, but might have to improvise. Sometimes that's what you gotta do in these kind of deals. All right, well, I don't think I have it in me or the tools. I don't think I have the skills or the tools to make this out of one piece. They originally were stamped, obviously, so I think this will be a 3-piece part again. I'll just cut along these tape lines, make out 3 pieces, bend them, shrink them, stretch them, do whatever needs to be done to make it fit right, and then I'll weld it together, and then I'll cut all this junk out of here and spot welds right along here, and then I'm gonna cut it right here and seam weld it because it's pretty good up there. Spot welds back here. Looks like this backside piece sandwiches in between these two, so I might have to build this back piece before I weld this one in, but at least I'll have it built, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, do a little update here. So we got all this fitted and got cleat in place. See what's going on there. And we got this side all cut off and cleaned up, and it looks good on this side. So I got to remove this piece, drill all these spot welds, get that piece off, get that all cleaned up, make sure there's no repairs that need to be done there. And then this side is the bad side, so we're gonna have a repair over here. This is all pretty bad. I might replace this whole section, so we're gonna just cut it kind of back down, remove these old tabs where the roof bolted on, so we can set the new roof on there, and make sure this piece is fitting okay. And I think it needs a little tweaking on the other side. Like in this corner, needs to go down a little bit to meet up with my window. So, but otherwise everything's looking pretty good. So we'll continue on today. All right, well, I went ahead and I got all those spot welds drilled out and all that leftover metal off, and we got the roof test fitted, so let's check it out. So, it's looking decent. It's not too bad. I mean, it's a little far forward on this, but I don't know. We haven't figured everything out yet, so that side's looking better. It's not looking too bad, but I'm sure there's going to be some massaging needing to be done. Getting somewhere now. We just need a truckload of parts to show up with the rest of the sheet metal, and we can get some more done. It's about 35 degrees in the shop this morning. We got ourselves some very pitchy pine, and we're gonna light this fire real quick, real time, no paper. And that's how long it takes to start the fire in the morning if you have some really good pitchy pine. And that's gonna be about 8,000 degrees in 2 minutes, so Yeah. All right, I've been working on the Nova and not recording again. Cut out a bunch of this old rusty stuff. And starting up here, this rusty piece. I got everything inside coated with Pour 15 all the way down. I used a piece of welding rod with a rag and had to actually use a little injector and inject some Pour 15 up in there to help it get enough in there. And it got coverage all the way down, so that should be good. I'm gonna clean a lot of this surface rust off of this still, get this patch in, and then I will coat this whole thing with Pour 15 after I get the bulk of the rust off of it, and that'll keep it protected for the rest of its life, hopefully. So, long ways to go. Man, that thing was a pretty motor. Not so much anymore. It's got a bunch of broken pistons. And she's been sitting on the shelf for years, all taken apart. Crankshaft over there. There's the chiller, the intake manifold. Just boxes of parts. There's all the valves. Valve springs. Oh man.